Andrew here from Underground Training, and this is the mining industry news for new starters, where we cover what's going on in the industry to make it easier for you to get your first mining job. So in today's news, we're going to cover the two places that still need entry-level people. We're going to have a look at how you can get some help getting a job. So we're going to look at the ways we help people get jobs so you can compare it to the other ways people are trying to help you get a job. And we're also going to talk about what's going on in the utility and shutdown world. So there's been a few changes of the people that they're hiring there. So we're going to talk about that at the end of the video. First off, let's jump over and talk about the two current places that they need entry-level people. So at the moment, that's in all the hard rock underground gold and copper mines around the country. They need nippers, truck drivers, offsiders, even service crew and pace crew they need, as well as AGI operators. They need everybody. It's all entry-level at the moment, so there's jobs all over the country in this area. Where they don't need a lot of people is everywhere else, because there's been a downturn and they've replaced a lot of jobs with driverless. If we come over to our website and you come over to the blogs, and you'll see this blog here, it's been up for a little while. It's the two places that mining employers actually need to hire new starters. And like I said, this has been up for a while because this isn't new news. Like anybody that's been in the industry for any length of time has been talking about this for months, not weeks. So, let that sink in a little bit as well. But yeah, it's hard rock underground gold and copper mines and exploration. And you've got to go where they've got no choice but to hire new starters and give them what they want, somebody that knows how the mine works. So where are these mines? So this is loaded up with all the gold and copper mines around the country that are looking for people. And as you can see, there's a lot of mines all over the country. Tasmania, Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. Big copper mines in South Australia that are always looking for people. Lots of gold and copper over here in WA as well. And there's even stuff in the Northern Territory that you can look at. So the work's all across the country. And you only have to type underground into Seek to see it all come up. And if you go through, the majority of it, that they're asking for entry level, but all these truck driving jobs, this truck driving job here, they'll want an experienced person, but the reality is that they're not going to get one. They're going to have to train somebody up. This is where we move into the next bit. How is the person that's supposed to be giving you the advice to get a mining job helping you get your mining job? So the way we do it is that we actually go into how we would help somebody get a mining job. So we identify the right job. So the area, it's the gold and copper mines around the country. So this page is about gold mining, and it's going to be an underground gold mine because that's where it is. The surface gold mines have got a choice of experienced truck drivers that are coming in from iron ore and coal and other places where they can utilize those skills that they've got from the surface and move straight across. That's why they don't need people, and that's why those job ads are asking for anywhere from 3 to 5 years experience to get one. And then you've got to learn what the employers want. So learn how it all works, and that's what we do with our training. We teach you how the mine works so you can actually hold a conversation with the foreman in the interview, because you need to stand out. And if you go in green, so you've got no mining knowledge on day one, it takes the employers 2 to 3 months to get a new starter up to speed, and they all go through more than 50% of those people. But if you go in having done the training, so you can talk to them about refuge chambers and stench gas and cap lamp signals and tell them what a heading and what a stope is, it just means instead of taking 2 to 3 months to get you up to speed, they can get you up to speed in a couple of swings. So it's weeks instead of months. And this is how you're going to stand out from the other 10,000 other people looking for a job. If you can't hold a conversation with them about how their mine works, and you've just gone out and paid a lot of money to get a resume done, I don't understand how that's going to help you stand out and get a job, unless you've been told to go and get your foot in the door any way you can with a utility job or something like that. But unfortunately, as we're going to talk about in a minute, those jobs, they've transitioned into using overseas people or working holiday visas to fill those jobs. If you're trying to get into the mining industry at the moment, the best chance you've got is to educate yourself. You can do that using our training at undergroundtraining.com.au, and you can check out the shop here. So we've got the DIY Introduction to Underground Mining. It teaches you everything that the employers want you to know, and there's full instructions on how to redo your resume. If you want your resume done, we do the resume in-house with the 3-step plan package and also the Work Ready. The Work Ready also gives you a shift boss to mentor you, so it becomes their job to help you understand what's going on in the industry so you can hold that conversation with the foreman in the interview. Unfortunately, There's a lot of misinformation going around about what qualifications you actually need. So if you want to check out what qualifications you need for these mining jobs, then have a look at this page. It goes through what qualifications you need, what you don't need, why the employer can't use the R2 tickets on their mine site. It actually goes in and shows you the mine's regs, and it goes through and it talks about why the TAFE system, they don't have any TAFE courses that you can go and enroll in. We talk about the S11, the white card, civil construction, how it's all different than the actual mining production roles. So it goes into great detail about all that sort of stuff, because if you're trying to get one of these hard rock underground roles, then you'd really need to set yourself out from everybody else that's looking, because there's only a small area of the industry that are actually still looking for entry-level people, and that's in the hard rock underground space. It's on both sides of the country. So there's an entry-level role for New South Wales, and here's one for Kalgoorlie as well. So it's all over the country. Now, why aren't they using utility workers? Well, that's a great question. And if you jump over and we type utility into Seek, you'll see all the jobs come up. And the biggest employer that they use around the country is Sodexo, and that's pretty standard, $85,000 a year. And I get a number of phone calls from people within the company that are all looking because they bought the resume, they got their foot in the door, and then they're stuck because they've got no skills that are going to land them the next job. They often get in contact with us, and lately I've had a few phone calls from people, especially from this company, that have been really interesting. And the general consensus is that they're hiring less and less Australians, and they're solely exclusively using working holiday visa people. And the reason that they're doing that is because the working holiday visa people aren't looking to jump into that mining job, or they can't jump into the mining job because the mining companies really don't want them. They want citizens and permanent residents. They don't want working holiday visas on these underground mines. They want people that are going to last for years, not just months. But with the Sodexo and companies like that, if they grab a working holiday visa person, then that person will lock in for 6 to 12 months, and they've got them for 6 to 12 months, and they're really compliant. And that's the language that was getting used. This person I talked to, he went up to his boss after a staff meeting and was talking about promotion and, getting some training and all that sort of stuff. And all his boss wanted to do was focus on how the fact that he was getting free accommodation and free food. So he was talking to him like he was a backpacker. And it really pissed this guy off, because this guy's got a mortgage here in Perth. And so he's not worried about the free accommodation and the free food. He's worried about the wage, and he's worried about getting enough to pay his fucking mortgage. And so when you've got a boss from companies like this talking to you like a backpacker, you pretty much know the writing's on the wall with who they're going to hire going forward. And it's the same thing happening with the TA work and the shutdown work. So if you type shutdown in, you'll see a lot of work's moved to South Australia with the big copper mines that are firing up and having a lot of maintenance work. But you'll see that the majority of the shutdown jobs with the TA work, it's all around $40 an hour and to $45 an hour. It doesn't really go much above that. And it's really, it's just because these companies are cottoning on that they only need that they can hire working holiday visa people that will accept less than what the Australians want. And, with this, especially when it's really tight like it is at the moment in these areas where they've got a lot of work being cut back because there's been a lot of mines put in care and maintenance, so they're not making as much money as they were before. All the gold mines are making bucket loads of money, but everywhere else is struggling. So if you look at utility as a whole, the utility jobs that they've got on gold mines are going to be making lots of money, but they've had all the nickel and the lithium and all the iron ore mines that don't need all the people anymore. They've lost all the contracts and they've lost all the money and the revenue from there. So they're trying to maximise their revenue at the moment. And it's the same thing with the shutdown workers. There's just not that much shutdown work around. And so as soon as management cottons on the fact that they can get the working holiday visa people in for cheaper than they can with the Australians, that's just the way that they're going to go. So if you're trying to get in and you're here in Australia and you're a citizen or a permanent resident, then I can't stress enough about the gold and copper mines. Use the training, educate yourself, learn how it all works, and give them exactly what they want. You can have a look at this, how to get a gold mining job on this page, goes through the career pathway, identifies the jobs, goes into what you've got to learn. It talks about the training and what you're going to learn and all that sort of stuff. And there's a video here that talks about how they'll train you to drive a truck on site. It goes for 17 minutes, but it's in a lot of detail there, so you can have a look at that. And then there's one on your resume. So if you do our DIY package, this has got full instructions on how to redo your resume, so take you through that. It's not that hard, guys. It's just about giving the employers what they want, somebody that they can throw in the deep end. So I hope you found that information helpful. I've forgotten to say like and subscribe at the front again, so if you can like and subscribe, that would be wonderful. I keep on getting in trouble for that. I've got to say that at the front of the reel. But if you're trying to get into the industry and you want some information or you want some training on how to get in, check out the training at undergroundtraining.com.au, or if you want to talk to somebody that knows how the industry works, the phone number's at the end of the video.